Your father was experimenting with a highly classified material that could threaten our entire solar system. We're counting on you to find out what's happening out there.
Ad Astra, at first glance, looks like one of those prestigious space movies that gets released once a year in the lead up to awards season. You know the ones like Gravity, Interstellar, The Martian, a Star Wars film, First Man. Outside of that though, I would forgive you for not really knowing much about this film because the posters for it have been ridiculously generic. Seriously, I have seen this poster everywhere, yet it gives us nothing to work with. So, as the good sheep for the establishment that I am, let me give you the rundown. Ad Astra takes place in the near future and follows Brad Pitt as an astronaut with a cool temperament and daddy issues. When Earth is struck by a series of electrical surges which have the power to wipe out all life in the solar system, he's sent to Mars to send a message to his estranged father, Tommy Lee Jones, who went missing on a mission to Neptune to search for extraterrestrial life and is believed to be the cause of the surges. While its placement in the release schedule immediately draws comparisons to Gravity and Interstellar, etc., the main point of comparison from where I sit is Blade Runner, and no, not the director's or final cut that most modern audiences have seen, the original Blade Runner, where it feels like it was intended to be an atmospheric, cerebral mood piece, but the studio got a hold of it before release and threw in random action beats and a frequent, but always terrible narration and inner monologue for our main character. Brad Pitt is a terrific actor who is doing career best work here. You don't need to let the audience know how he's feeling every 10 seconds, we can see it on his face. The narration even seems to go against what the film's angle is regarding space travel, the psychological impact. Yeah, on paper, having him just say what he's feeling all the time might make a certain amount of sense.
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel! That makes me feel angry!
However, Brad Pitt's character arc, I know his character has a name, but, you know, Brad Pitt, his arc is all about his experiences breaking down his emotional barriers, the decaying nature of his mental state, and letting history and spectators decide whether or not he's done the right thing. Having a constant narration undermines that conceit, not to mention you can tell that the narration has been hastily added in because sometimes it overlaps with speaking characters' lines of dialogue. Don't be surprised if in 10 years' time we see Ad Astra director's cut or something. But yeah, outside of that, Ad Astra does work really well as a technically proficient mood piece. It has a relaxed pace by necessity due to the frequent long-distance travel that space necessitates, yet it never feels sluggish and the stakes are never diminished as Brad Pitt goes further and further towards his own personal heart of darkness to uncover the demons of his troubled relationship with his father that could doom the whole universe if not properly reined in. The film's approach to psychology and how Brad Pitt sometimes can't travel in space if he's not in the right frame of mind is a great and unique way to structure a drama like this, and it almost makes the idea of daddy issues on film fresh. Almost. It's not just whether or not Tommy Lee Jones is able to find signs of extraterrestrial life, the movie is more concerned with whether we, as human beings, are even ready for that type of clarity, and what it says about us and what we could do with that information, regardless of what that information is. And maybe those who have spent months and months and years alone in the vast emptiness of space, drifting further and further from home, are in the right frame of mind to even comprehend those big questions. The production design is awesome, selling this near future where some antennae stretch all the way up into the atmosphere, where the moon has been colonized but looks like a really shitty retail park, and the colour palette on Mars would make Roger Deakins proud. There's also some set pieces which really did have me on the edge of my seat, and I was genuinely invested in the unravelling mystery as it was unfolding, though the film does not stick the landing as it seems to dodge the consequences of Brad Pitt after doing some of the things that he's done throughout the film. I can't really go into spoilers. I would not be surprised if the ending we got, specifically the final scene, was a studio-mandated reshoot. And I keep coming back to that concept of a director's cut. James Gray is a really good and smart director, but I don't believe that this is his film, or at least his final cut. It's an effective mood piece with really off-the-wall action scenes. It's an intimate character study with an insufferable internal monologue. It's a dark and rich look into a character's fractured and broken psyche, but its ending is absolutely not that. The film playing in theatres right now has moments of greatness, and like I said before, Brad Pitt is terrific and there's amazing isolated moments, but it just isn't coming together properly, and that's a shame. It's a big idea sci-fi film that wants you to think, but it's been handled in such a way that it gets worse the more you think about it. So on that note, let's end the review before I start finding more issues. I give Ad Astra Wait, where did half of the supporting cast go? They just seem to vanish from the film. Okay, I'll stop now, I'll stop. I give Ad Astra 3.5 stars out of 5, subject to change.
We have a job to do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.